Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ivy and Juke Creations. If you're new here, my name is Kim, and I'm so glad you decided to click on the video, and welcome. Alright, here goes my second playlist ever, y'all. It's the 5 Under 5. It is held monthly on the 5th at 5 p.m., and you must do 5 DIYs for $5 and under. The two hosts are Misty and Emily from Crafty Cove and Farm Charm Chic, and co-host is Crafting with JC. Let's see how we do. Here we go, DIY number 1. Here's proof that I'm fixing to use some scrap wood, and I cut it down and used my brad nailer and nailed it, and then I sanded it. Now in the craft room, here's the measurements. It's 12.5 by 7.5. And I put a piece on the back to connect them. And now we're going to give it a good coat of Rust-Oleum's white linen chalk paint. Now in this challenge, you must find something online, like Kirkland's, Hobby Lobby, whatever, and try to recreate it for $5 or less. And so... my inspiration is coming from the antique Farmhouse. And this piece here, so now we've got the scrap wood that didn't cost me nothing because it was for another project. So it's just what was left over. And I gave it a good coat of Rust-Oleum's white linen chalk paint. And then I'm taking Waverly's Elephant, and you see me going down in between the slats of the wood. Now here's the inlay. I'm laying it down in wet paint. And this inlay is from Iron Orchid Designs, and it's called Melange. And I will link everything down in the description box. But you make sure you lay it down in wet paint, and then you dab it with your paper towel, and then you let it dry. And then you wet it again, and you dab up the excess, and then you pull it back slowly, and this is what you're left with. And because that is just like if I had took an artist brush and painted this, it's wet, it will smear. So you see the little bit of shininess going on? That is because I just sprayed it with a 50% water and polyacrylic to seal it in so it don't smear and it's safe. Now we're going to take Waverly's Ink and Elephant. And you see how I'm putting black on one side of my brush and Elephant on the other side. And then dabbed off the excess. And we're going to distress it a little bit. And I always start on the back to make sure I like it. And so now back to the inlay, y'all. I will let you know that the inlays from Iron Orchid Designs are pretty expensive. It's like $49 a book. Stay with me. Don't click off my video yet. But it has so many designs in it, inlays, different designs, that if you take that number, the $49, and divide it by how many inlays you've got in that book, it only comes out, y'all, to like $2 per design. But now listen at this. Because you're pretty much guaranteed that you can use an inlay up to 2 times, possibly 3 and 4, that $2 now goes down to $1. So I've got $1 in this project, y'all. And then I just distressed it, and then I'm taking my sandpaper and rubbing over it a little bit, and that's it. And here's Antique Farmhouse's version. And theirs is colored. And it's $26. And here's my version. And like I said, I've got $1 in it. And I hope you like it. And then one of the stamps that I didn't mention because I was talking is the vintage texture. See the crackle? And like I said, all that'll be down in the description box. Moving right along to DIY number 2. We're going to take this Dollar Tree sign. It's $1.25. We took it outside, and I got more scrap wood, and I'm trying to make a frame around this Dollar Tree sign. And because it's scrap wood, we don't count the wood. I'm going to sew it up. Now back in the craft room, we're going to take Rust-Oleum's linen white chalk paint, and we're going to give this several coats because I want it to be a bright white. And in this challenge, y'all, your paint doesn't count like stamps. When they're good quality, you can get multiple or lifetime use out of stamps, right? So it don't count on stamps. And your paint and your Mod Podge and all that, it don't count because that's considered your supplies. And now that the paint is dry, what y'all see me doing is I was taking Elmer's glue and I watered it down to 50% glue and water. And then I dried it with my heat gun. And now I've got a scrapbook piece of paper from Hobby Lobby. And you know we get them at 4 for $1 when they're on sale. So now we've got 25 more cents. So the sign from Dollar Tree is $1.25. And the scrapbook piece of paper is 25 cents. So now we're at a total of $1.50. And then I took my mini press and a piece of parchment paper, and I just ironed over it to reactivate the glue. And then here I am taking my finger sander and I'm sanding down in a downward motion to remove the excess paper. Now it's time to put the frame together. I'm going to use wood glue, super glue from the Dollar Tree. And I got it on my little mat and I took it outside and nailed it together with my brad nail gun. And then I come back in. And here we're painting it with Waverly's Antique Wax. Remove the painter's tape. And here's Antique Farmhouse's version. And it was, I think, $31.50, y'all. It disappeared on me. I'm sorry. And here's mine. And we got $1.50 in this one. Moving right along, DIY number 3. We're going to take another sign from the Dollar Tree, $1.25, and we're going to deconstruct it and get those little outer frame pieces off of it. Then we're going to spray it down with water. I had to find my inner Brenda from Rustic and Lace. You let that water soak, and then you take your metal scraper, and sure enough, it comes right off, y'all. And then we're going to scrape the glue off these little frame pieces, is what I'm going to call them. And it comes right off. And now here we go with Rust-Oleum's white linen chalk paint. And we're going to give this one a good coat. And we're going to give it several coats because I want it to be bright white. And then we're going to put a base coat on the frame pieces. Give us something to work with. How's everybody been doing? I've had an awesome week. A lot of fun creating these projects. Very stressful, but lots of fun. And now here we're going to take those frame pieces and we're going to put Waverly's Antique Wax on them. And make sure you get all the sides of it because it will show. Now that everything's dry, we're going to assemble our sign back together. We're going to take wood glue, super glue, and we're going to put it down on one edge of the piece of wood. And then we're going to take our hot glue and put it on the other edge of the piece of wood. Then you're going to lay it down, make sure it's flush on both sides and the bottom. and then clamp it down like Miss Brenda does from Rustic and Lace. And then we'll do the whole frame like that. Now we've got a stamp called Birds and Bees from Iron Orchid Designs. And remember, it don't count because stamps can be used over and over and over. Like, say, a rub-on transfer. You can only use it one time, so you would have to do the math and see how much, that transfer cost you. But the stamps don't count. And we're going to take that bee out of that stamp pack that I had, and we're going to stamp it up. We found the center, and now we're going to lay it on there. And you're going to always hold the stamp with one hand while you rub with the other hand. Then you swap hands, hold it while you rub the other side, and then pick it straight up. Now we've got the stamp set called letterpress, and we're going to be spelling out the word beautiful. And that is a thin mount that I have my letters on right there, my stamp letters. And we do stamp that, and because it don't have double letters in it, so in other words, I needed another E, so I had to do it next by itself, and that's what I'm doing there. And then we're going to stamp a little dash. Then we're going to stamp the letter A and another dash. And now the letter U. And y'all look, it's so crooked. I've learned with these projects though, because a lot of my stamping is kind of crooked, is I'm going to need to get me a footstool because I'm so short, and stand up higher when I go to stamp something. But this is Antiques Farmhouse's version at $31.50, I think is what it said. And here's my version. And we've got $1.25 in that one for the Dollar Tree sign. Now, DIY number 4. We're going to take this drop cloth. You get a humongous, big old piece for $15. And you can make 75 pillows out of this piece of fabric if you wanted to. I'm not sure, but because I'm using just a small piece, I'm going to count my cost at $1 right now. And we're going to cut it into a square, and then I'm using my ruler here because, the OCD, I was trying to make sure I was doing my hot glue line straight. So that's why I'm using the ruler. I wanted a straight line of glue. Then we're just going to do it all around all 4 sides. But on your last side, you want to leave a little hole, so you can stuff your little pillow. Then trim off the corners. And now turn it right side out, I guess. Get it all straightened out. And I didn't do it on camera, but I actually went over mine with my heat press. Now I'm taking a piece of parchment paper and poking it down in that little old hole I left myself. I actually glued the whole thing up, y'all, but I caught it just in time and was able to lift it back up and be like, Kim, what were you doing? What were you thinking? But anyway, now we're going to stamp again. And I've got 3 different types of stamps here. I've got the stamp collection called Birds and the Bees. And then the laurels, the greenery stuff, that's off a Queen Bee stamp set. And then the word brave is from the lowercase in Typesetting, I believe. And you get it all laid out, your placement and everything like you want. And then you take this piece of plastic. It's called a thin mount. And watch this. It's going to pick everything up except the bee. And that's because the bee is already on a piece of thin mount itself. Then we're going to lay us a little piece of wood on the table so we'll have a hard surface to stamp on. And we're going to ink up our stamps. And I'm using StazOn black ink. And because we're stamping on fabric, you want it to be what they call juicy. That way, it'll go good on the fabric. And here, y'all, if you're wondering about the blue tape, that's a little bit of that OC dicking in again. I lined it up with a fabric and then put down a second piece down there at the bottom. That way it'd give me something to stamp on, a guide. Try not to get nothing crooked. And I also laid another piece of painter's tape at the top. And then it's hard to see on camera, but I took a permanent marker and I marked the center at the top and the bottom on the painter's tape. And so that helped me kind of line everything up. And then we're going to stamp the bee. And remember, if I'm correct, and I do believe I'm correct, and ladies, if I'm not, y'all correct me down in the comments, but the stamps don't count because you can use them over and over and over. So once again, we've got $1 in this project so far, and then we're going to take this 20-year-old bag of polyfill that I have no clue where it come from, and then we're going to stuff our little pillow. And Missi, Emily, thank y'all so much for allowing me the opportunity to join in the playlist with y'all. It's an honor, and it was a lot of fun, and I forgot to say that in the beginning, and I apologize. But now we're taking our ruler, and we're going to make sure that polyfill is up in the corner, in all of our corners, and then we're going to take the hot glue, and we're going to seal her up. And that's it, my friends. Their version, Antique Farmhouse, is $54. And mine, we'll call it $2 for the polyfill and the drop cloth. So we got $2 versus $54. Now, DIY number 5, y'all. Going to take this faux piece of wood. It's like oh shoot, my mind just left me. It's like a floor plank, that's what I want to say. And we're going to take Waverly's Antique Wax and cover it really good in that, and I gave it 2 coats. And now we're going to take our painter's tape and we're going to outline this piece of wood, all 4 corners. Y'all, in my last playlist, I had an overwhelming subscriber count go up and views. And so if you're new here, just welcome. And I hope you see something that you like. And thank you for hitting the subscribe button. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm grateful, and I'm excited. I've got so many emotions going on right now. But if y'all hit the subscribe button in the last video, thank y'all so much. And if you hit it in this video, I still appreciate you from the bottom of my heart too. And now, we took Rust-Oleum's white linen chalk paint, and we gave it several coats of the white chalk paint. Let it dry, and now we're peeling off the painter's tape. And y'all look at that. That antique wax color against that white. Alright, here I'm taking 50% polyacrylic and water and giving it a coat of sealer on it. And then I'm going to dry it. Now we're going to take IOD's stamp set called Sprigs. and IOD's stamp set called Letterpress. If you're interested in IOD, this will be a good one because it's got 3 different fonts in it. And then I laid them down and got them placed the way I wanted them. And then taking this lavender sprig and inked it up. And now we're going to lay it down where the white's at. Hold it with one hand while you rub with the other one. You don't want to press down and distort the image. You just want to make sure everything made good contact. And we also stamped the word hello down there at the bottom. And because it has 2 L's, I'm having to do another L now by itself. And then I felt like it was missing something. So I took my metal ruler and I lined it up at the white edge. And I'm taking my permanent marker and I'm just going around the white frame part of it. And then actually on the outside of it. Y'all, my back was killing me. And I could not go no further, or I would have done like paint or maybe some jute around the white frame or something like that. But I just grabbed the permanent marker and it worked just as good. Here's the antique Farmhouse version at $34. And here's my version, y'all. And this was absolutely free. Remember, we don't count the stamps. And then the flooring piece was scrap. And here they all are. I hope y'all enjoyed them. I appreciate y'all all from the very bottom of my heart. I couldn't have got here without all my family, friends, subscribers. At the time of this voiceover, y'all, it was 852. We're almost there. What, another 148? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And I hope all you mothers have a super blessed, happy Mother's Day.